We've had a few lessons recently on the transition because of how important the transition is. If we have the right transition, it's almost difficult not to have a good release. Meaning it's almost difficult not to come into the ball and hit it real hard and solidly. But making sure we're detailed and we're understanding exactly where that transition needs to be is hugely important. So in today's lesson, we're going to go over a very common swing fault in the transition that happens even though you may be hitting the right checkpoints, the bat could be completely out of position. Let's go ahead and get started. So in the Pro Speed baseball hitting system, the transition is called the Pro Speed bat lag course. That's where we actually start from the top of the swing, and when we start to move into the ball, we have a very specific position we want to get into today. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys the lag cone. The cone that the bat needs to be into. If the bat gets into this cone at any point at the right time, the bat's going to have the ability to hit this ball hard and solid, and you will have the ability to swing as fast as you can and fast as you want, but still have this bat come into the ball correctly. So what that position looks like, just a quick recap of the transition. When we get into the max lag position, this bat needs to be splitting the shoulder in half from anywhere from the top of the shoulder, depending on your flexibility, to the middle of the arm. Because we understand that we have to have this bat at the right angle, so that not at a right angle, at a correct angle, to allow this bat to come into the ball and slam into it so that we can hit it solidly. So we just did a video on how we want to make sure we're hitting the ball solidly. The bat has to be coming from the right angle and hit the ball in the sweet spot in order to truly hit a ball solidly. So the mistake that I can see a lot when players say, okay, I want this bat to split my shoulder, is they get the bat too steep, meaning they might have the bat splitting the shoulder, but now the bat is too straight up and down. The bat is essentially not flat enough to come into the ball the way that we want it. So if the bat's not flat enough, then we're never going to get it. We may be hitting the checkpoint of having the bat split the shoulder. We may even have the bat split the arm, but the bat is too steep. That's pretty much the long and short of it, guys. It's that simple. Even though we're hitting the checkpoint, we're never going to be able to come into the bat or come into the ball the way that we want to unless the bat is shallow enough. So the lag cone that we talked about earlier in the lesson is essentially just a cone that goes from the very tip of the shoulder to the middle of the arm, roughly the middle of the arm, starting at about a 45-degree angle from the ground. That's going to be, so if my bat is not at this 45-degree angle or greater, then I'm not going to have the ability to hit the ball solidly. I need to make sure that when I transition, the bat is somewhere in that cone so that the bat can come into the ball and hit it solidly. So the cool part about this is we know the cone is a very nice visual, and a lot of players like it a lot because it puts them in a good position, but we have to get in the cone early enough to allow the bat to release. This is why the face-on view and the checkpoints of Pro Speed bat lag are so important. Again, when we are in transition, I have to be in that cone before the hands get to the torso line. There's a line right down my torso. My hands are behind that line, and I'm in the cone. It happens very quickly. So if I'm in my load and I go into my transition, I need to be in that cone before my hands get to the torso line. So now I'm in there on time to be able to release this bat. If I get into the cone late, meaning I start going and then my hands get past the torso line, I get in the cone, I'm going to effectively drag the bat, and I'm going to be late on my release just a little bit. Now, we can still kind of make up for it and hit it good, but if we're trying to max it out and hit this ball as hard as we can and get maximum time of bat in the hitting area, we need to make sure that we are in that lag cone before the hands get to the torso line so that we can release the bat. So essentially, if we know where the lag cone is, again, from 45-degree angle off the ground, off the top of the shoulder, that means the bat has to at least get to that angle first or anywhere in that cone, and this happens before I get to the torso line. Now I can release this bat. I can let this bat go as hard and fast as I want to, because I know if I'm in that cone, the bat's going to be able to come into the ball solidly, and there's really nothing that can go wrong. I'm not going to cast the bat from the cone. I'm not going to do anything. The only bad thing I can do from the cone is drag the bat, but I can also release the bat. But even if I drag the bat some, I'm still going to be able to hit the ball somewhat solidly so that I can still get a hit. So as long as this bat is transitioning into the cone, then we can come into the ball, hit it solidly, and if we get it there on time, then we can release it with max speed. So the main thing to take from this is we need to make sure this bat is not too steep, that it's shallow enough to get into the cone and getting into the cone at the right time. So soon enough so that we can release the bat. So if your bat in transition is coming in a little steep, then go ahead and flatten it out so that you can get your max speed and solid contact. Now, everything in the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system is just as detailed as this. We know exactly what we want to do and when we want to do it so that we can max out every mechanic that can give us our three best things, making sure that we are maxing out our bat speed, maxing out our ability to hit the ball solidly, and to be able to do those two things consistently. I got a great bonus for you. I'm actually going to play a preview of one of the videos from the Pro Speed Baseball hitting system that you can get instant access to by clicking on the iCard that's popping up in the top portion of the screen, or by clicking on the link in the description below. I'm going to play a preview of that video right now. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll start showing how our weight shift is involved with the release of the bat. We just simply need to understand exactly where we want to be in our weight shift. So we're going to get a lot more specific. We're going to be talking about the timing of getting the back pocket in front of the tee at the same time we're hitting the ball. But the first thing we need to do, guys, is we need to rep this out and make sure that we can definitely get the weight transfer that we need. So we're going to put our arms across our chest. We're going to get at least 100 repetitions